The coffee cup shattered against the floor. Maya Chen didn't flinch. 4 college football players surrounded her table, phones out, laughing. The biggest one, Brett, grabbed her book and held it above his head. "Come on, show us what you got, sweetheart. Prove women can fight." 20 people watched. Nobody moved. Maya looked up, and something in her eyes made Brett's friend take a step back. "I'm going to say this once," she said, voice cold as winter. "Walk away." Brett laughed. He had no idea what he'd just started. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and stay until the end of this story. Comment below what city you're watching from. I want to see how far Maya's story travels. Trust me, you won't believe what happens next. Brett Davidson threw his head back and laughed, the sound echoing through the Copper Star Coffee House in downtown Austin. His 3 teammates joined in, their voices drowning out the acoustic music playing softly in the background. "Did you hear that, boys? She wants us to walk away." Brett turned to his phone, making sure he was still recording. "This is gold. Feminist warrior thinks she's tough." Maya Chen sat perfectly still, her hands flat on the table. She'd chosen the corner booth deliberately, back to the wall, clear sightlines to both exits, exactly as she'd been trained. The oversized UT hoodie hid the muscle definition that years of special operations had carved into her frame. The thick-rimmed glasses were plain glass, a prop. Everything about her appearance screamed, harmless grad student. Everything except her eyes. "Brett, man, maybe we should—" Tyler, the offensive lineman, shifted his weight nervously. "Shut up, Tyler." Brett leaned down, putting his hands on Maya's table. His breath smelled like beer and entitlement. "Here's what's going to happen, sweetheart. You're going to apologize for embarrassing me in front of my girl. Then you're going to admit you don't know shit about the military." Maya's voice remained level. "I corrected a factual error. The Battle of Fallujah was 2004, not 2006. That's not opinion. That's historical record." "Oh, so now you're a historian, too." Brett's girlfriend Jessica giggled from the next table. "What are you, some kind of military groupie?" The other patrons were watching now. An older couple near the window, 3 grad students with laptops. The barista, a young woman named Sophie, gripped the counter, her knuckles white. The manager stood frozen by the register. Maya recognized the look on his face. Fear. The football team brought in business. Brett's father donated to the university. Nobody was going to help her. She didn't need help. "Last chance," Maya said. "Walk away, and this ends." Brett grabbed her copy of For Whom the Bell Tolls and held it over his head. "What are you going to do? Call the cops? Tell them the big bad football player hurt your feelings?" His teammate Marcus, a defensive end with a scholarship and actual brain cells, put his hand on Brett's shoulder. "Dude, seriously, look at her. Something's off." But Brett was already committed, already performing for his audience. He'd spent his whole life being the biggest guy in the room, the star athlete, the untouchable golden boy. 22 years of nobody telling him no. Maya saw it all in his eyes. The arrogance. The absolute certainty that nothing he did had consequences. She'd seen that look before. On terrorists in Iraq. On warlords in Afghanistan. On men who thought power meant they could take whatever they wanted. It never ended well for them. "I'm going to count to 3, Maya said quietly. 1. Brett laughed. "Oh shit, she's counting. I'm so scared." 2. "Brett, let's just go." Tyler was backing away now. "Coach said we have curfew." 3. Brett reached for Maya's shoulder. She moved. Her hand caught his wrist mid-reach, twisted it at an angle that made every joint from fingertip to elbow scream in protest. Brett's knees buckled, not from pain, but from the sudden realization that his entire arm was no longer under his control. "What the—" His words cut off as Maya stood, maintaining the wrist lock, rising smoothly to her feet. She applied pressure, not much, just enough, and Brett went to his toes, his face draining of color. "Here's what's going to happen," Maya said, her voice conversational. "You're going to apologize to me. Then you're going to apologize to Sophie, the barista you grabbed last week. Then you're going to leave and never come back." "Fuck you!" Brett tried to pull away. Maya adjusted her grip by millimeters. Brett screamed. That's when his 3 teammates made their move. Tyler came from the left, Marcus from the right, and Jake, the quiet one who'd been filming everything, tried to grab her from behind. They moved together, coordinated, 300 pounds of muscle each. Maya had been fighting men twice her size since she was 18. She released Brett's wrist, stepped inside Tyler's reach, and drove her elbow into his solar plexus. Not hard enough to seriously injure. She didn't need that heat. But hard enough to empty his lungs and drop him to his knees, gasping. Marcus reached for her. She caught his arm, used his own momentum to send him stumbling into a table. Coffee cups crashed. Someone screamed. Jake's arms wrapped around her from behind, lifting her off her feet. "Got her!" Maya's head snapped back, her skull connecting with his nose. Not a full headbutt. She didn't want to give him a concussion, but enough. Jake released her with a yelp, blood streaming from his nostrils. The entire sequence took 4 seconds. Brett was back on his feet, his face purple with rage and humiliation. "You bitch! You fucking—" He swung. A wide haymaker telegraphed from a mile away, the kind of punch that works on drunk frat boys, but nowhere else. Maya slipped it easily, stepped into his guard, and swept his legs. Brett hit the floor hard, the impact knocking the wind from his lungs. Before he could recover, Maya's knee was on his spine, his arm locked behind him at an angle that made several people wince. "Submit," she said quietly. "Fuck you!" She applied pressure. Brett howled. "Submit." Okay, I submit." Maya released him and stood, her breathing barely elevated. Brett rolled onto his back, cradling his arm, tears streaming down his face. His 3 teammates were scattered around the coffee shop like discarded toys. Tyler still gasping, Marcus clutching his ribs, Jake with his shirt covered in blood from his broken nose. The silence was absolute. Then someone started clapping. The older man by the window stood, applauding slowly. "Outstanding. Simply outstanding." Others joined in, the grad students, Sophie, the barista, even the manager, though he looked terrified of what came next. Maya ignored them all. She walked to the counter, pulled out her wallet, and placed a $50 bill next to the register. "For the broken cups. And Sophie's therapy fund." Sophie stared at her. "How did you know about you flinch every time a tall guy approaches the counter, and you've got a bruise on your wrist that's exactly the shape of a handprint?" Maya glanced at Brett, who was struggling to sit up. "His hand." Sophie's eyes filled with tears. "He said nobody would believe me." "He said his dad owns half the city." "His dad doesn't own shit." Maya turned to face Brett. "You want to press charges? Call the cops. I've got 20 witnesses who saw you assault me first. Plus whatever's on your phone, which you were dumb enough to keep recording." Brett's girlfriend was already halfway to the door. Tyler and Marcus were helping each other stand, both of them carefully not making eye contact. Jake held his shirt to his nose, mumbling about needing to get to the ER. "This isn't over," Brett spat, finally finding his voice. "My father." "Your father what?" Maya's voice cut through his bluster like a blade. "Your father will pay for better lawyers? Your father will make this go away? Let me tell you something about fathers, Brett. Mine was a Marine, died in Fallujah. The real Battle of Fallujah in 2004, not your made-up bullshit version. He taught me that respect isn't demanded. It's earned. And you haven't earned a goddamn thing. The coffee shop door opened. 2 Austin PD officers walked in, hands resting casually on their belts. The manager must have called during the fight. The first officer, a woman in her 40s with sergeant stripes, surveyed the scene with practiced eyes. Anyone want to tell me what happened here? 20 people started talking at once. Sergeant Rodriguez held up her hand. One at a time. You first. She pointed at the older man who'd started the applause. What did you see? I saw 4 young men harass and physically assault this young woman. I saw her defend herself with remarkable restraint. I saw her neutralize multiple attackers without causing serious injury. The man pulled out his phone. I also filmed the entire incident. So did I, said one of the grad students. Me too, Sophie called from behind the counter. Rodriguez looked at Maya. Ma'am, are you injured? No, Sergeant. Do you want to press charges? Maya glanced at Brett, who was being helped to his feet by the way this young woman stood, perfectly balanced, weight on the balls of her feet, hands relaxed but ready. The way she'd positioned herself to keep all threats in her line of sight. Ma'am, what's your background? I'd rather not say. That wasn't really a question. Rodriguez's tone was professional but firm. Those 4 boys are scholarship athletes at UT. Combined weight north of 1,200 pounds. You put all 4 down without breaking a sweat, so I'm going to ask again. What's your background? Maya hesitated. Her entire body language shifted, not to aggression, but to something else. Resignation, maybe, or calculation. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a wallet, flipping it open to show an ID card. Rodriguez went pale. Holy mother of... She cut herself off, glancing at the crowd. Everyone, I need you all to delete those videos right now. What? Why? One of the grad students protested. Because that woman's face cannot be on social media. Not now, not ever. Department of Defense regulation. Delete them. Now. But we... Rodriguez's voice hardened. I will confiscate every phone in this building and charge you with obstruction if you don't comply. This is a matter of national security. Delete the videos. Grumbling, people began tapping their phones. Rodriguez turned to her partner, a young officer who looked like he'd just graduated from the academy. Ramirez, clear the scene. Get statements from everyone, but no names for her. She jerked her thumb at Maya. She's Jane Doe in all reports. Brett struggled to his feet, cradling his arm. What the hell is going on? Who is she? Rodriguez ignored him. Sir, you and your friends need medical attention. I suggest you go to the ER and have a doctor check you out. File a report if you want, but I'm telling you right now, you assaulted a federal operator. You're lucky to be walking. Federal operator? She's just some... Son, shut your mouth before you make this worse. Rodriguez's tone could have frozen water. You just attacked someone who could have killed all 4 of you before I finished my morning donut. The fact that you're still breathing is because she chose mercy. Now get out of my sight before I decide to run your IDs and see what else you've been up to. Brett's face cycled through confusion, anger, and finally landed on fear. He looked at Maya. Really looked at her for the first time. Saw past the hoodie and glasses to the woman underneath. Saw the scars on her knuckles, the way she held herself. The absolute stillness of someone who knew exactly how dangerous they were. Come on, Tyler grabbed Brett's good arm. Let's go, now! The 4 of them stumbled toward the door. Brett paused at the threshold, looking back. This isn't... It's over, Maya said quietly. Go home. Sober up. Think about how lucky you are. When they were gone, Rodriguez approached Maya's table. Ma'am, I need to ask you some questions. Not for the report. For me. What the hell is a DevGru operator doing in a coffee shop in Austin? Maya's expression didn't change. I'm getting my master's degree. Educational psychology. UT has a good program. Bullshit. Rodriguez pulled out a chair and sat without being invited. I did 2 tours in Iraq, Army CID. I know operators when I see them, and I know when they're on mission. I'm not, please. Rodriguez leaned forward. That move you did on the big guy? Krav Maga variant, modified for close quarters. The way you controlled the second attacker's momentum? Pure jujitsu. But the real tell was how you dropped all 4 without causing serious injury. That's not civilian self-defense. That's combat discipline. That's rules of engagement ingrained at the cellular level. Maya was quiet for a long moment. Around them, Officer Ramirez was taking statements. People were gathering their belongings. The manager was sweeping up broken ceramic. Finally, she spoke. I separated 6 months ago. Medical discharge. PTSD. The words came out flat, rehearsed. I'm here for therapy and school. That's the truth. And the boys? Wrong place, wrong time. For them. Rodriguez studied her face. You know who Brett Davidson's father is? Should I? Richard Davidson, real estate developer, owns half the commercial property between here and Dallas. Major UT donor, very connected, very rich. Very much the kind of man who makes problems disappear. Then I guess he'll make this disappear. That's what I'm worried about. Rodriguez stood, pulled out a business card, and slid it across the table. If anything weird happens, and I mean anything, you call me, day or night, understand? Maya pocketed the card. Thank you, Sergeant. Don't thank me, just... Rodriguez paused at the door, looking back. Whatever you're really doing here, be careful. Austin might seem friendly, but it's still Texas. And in Texas, rich white boys who get embarrassed by women, especially young Asian women, tend to hold grudges. When Rodriguez left, the coffee shop slowly returned to normal. People packed up laptops, conversations resumed. Sophie made drinks with shaking hands. Maya sat back down, opened her book to where she'd left off, and tried to focus on Hemingway's words. But her mind was elsewhere. The coffee shop confrontation wasn't random. Brett Davidson wasn't random. For the past 6 weeks, Maya had been documenting a pattern. Young women, mostly international students, accepting athletic program internships from UT boosters, accepting rides to parties, and then disappearing. 3 so far. 3 young women who'd come to America for education and ended up as missing persons reports that went nowhere. The FBI task force had sent Maya in because she fit the profile. Young, Asian, vulnerable-looking. The perfect target. They'd enrolled her at UT, given her a cover story, and told her to make herself visible. Brett Davidson taking the bait this quickly was almost too convenient, which meant either he was incredibly stupid, or Maya had just kicked over a hornet's nest that was going to swarm. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Coffee shop video is everywhere. Face is blurred, but not enough. Shutting it down, but you've got maybe 6 hours before wrong people see it. Move up timeline. S. S was Special Agent Sarah Chen. No relation, though they'd joked about it. Sarah was Maya's handler, the only person who knew the real reason a former SEAL was playing grad student. Maya typed back. Contact made. Target confirmed. How do you want to play it? The response came immediately. He'll retaliate. Men like that always do. Be ready. And Maya, this might get messy. Maya looked at the broken coffee cups being swept up, at the overturned chairs, at Sophie cleaning the counter with tears still wet on her cheeks. Too late. It's already messy. She hit send, closed her phone, and went back to Hemingway. Outside, the Austin sun climbed higher. Traffic flowed on 6th Street. UT students rushed between classes. unaware that one of their own had just made the biggest mistake of his privileged life. And somewhere, in a high-rise office overlooking Lady Bird Lake, Richard Davidson's phone rang, with news that would set in motion a chain of events none of them could stop. The first domino had fallen. Maya turned the page and waited for the rest to follow. The video hit Reddit first. Maya was 3 blocks from the coffee shop when her phone started buzzing like a trapped hornet. She pulled into a parking garage, killed the engine of her beat-up Honda Civic, and watched her screen light up with notifications. 12 texts from Sarah, 4 missed calls, and a link to a Reddit thread titled, "UT student absolutely destroys football team." The video had been up for 47 minutes. It already had 60,000 upvotes. Maya's jaw tightened. The face blur was amateur. Whoever had posted it had used a free app that pixelated her features but left everything else crystal clear. Her body type, her movements, the UT hoodie. Enough for facial recognition software to potentially piece together. Enough for the wrong people to find her. She dialed Sarah. "Tell me you're somewhere safe." Sarah didn't bother with hello. "Parking garage, 3rd level, 2 exits. I'm clear." "You won't be for long. That video's been shared to Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're getting it taken down, but it's like playing whack-a-mole. Every time we kill one, 3 more pop up." Maya watched a new notification appear. The video was now on YouTube. "How bad?" "Depends. If it stays random viral content, we're fine. If someone runs your biometrics and connects you to your DevGru file, we're burned. I'm pulling you out." "No." "Maya, this isn't a debate. 3 women are missing, Sarah. 3 that we know about. How many more while we sit on our hands and play it safe?" Maya's voice stayed level, but her knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Brett Davidson made contact exactly as planned. He's rattled, humiliated. Men like that make mistakes when they're emotional. Men like that also have resources. His father, I know who his father is. That's the point. Maya watched a silver Mercedes pull into the garage 2 levels down. Probably nothing. Probably. We knew this would get messy. We planned for messy. Sarah was quiet for 3 seconds. The coffee shop wasn't supposed to be public. Viral video wasn't part of the plan. Plans change. We adapt. You sound like your old commander. He taught me well. Maya started her engine. The Mercedes was circling up, getting closer. I need to move. What's my play? Go to ground. 48 hours. Let this cool down. Maya's phone buzzed with an incoming call. Unknown number. Austin area code. Hold on. She switched lines. Hello? Is this Maya Chen? Male voice, smooth, educated. The kind of voice that came with corner offices and offshore accounts. Who's asking? My name is Richard Davidson. I believe you met my son this morning. Maya's blood went cold. She switched back to Sarah. Davidson Sr. is calling me. How the hell did he get this number? Shit, don't answer. But Maya had already switched back. Mr. Davidson, what can I do for you? I'd like to meet, discuss this morning's unfortunate incident. I think we can reach an understanding that benefits everyone involved. Your son assaulted me. What's to discuss? Richard Davidson's laugh was warm, paternal, the sound of a man who'd spent 40 years getting what he wanted through charm before resorting to threats. Ms. Chen, I've seen the video. Multiple angles, actually. What I saw was a young woman with remarkable training defend herself against 4 drunk idiots, one of whom happens to share my DNA. I'm not calling to threaten you. I'm calling to apologize. Maya didn't buy it for a second. Apology accepted. We're done. Wait, please. The warmth bled out of his voice, replaced by something harder. 5 minutes of your time. Public place. Bring a friend if you want. I just want to talk, face to face. One parent to another. I'm not a parent. No, but your father was a Marine. Died in Fallujah. I did my research. He paused, letting that sink in. I'm a veteran too. Army. First Gulf War. I know what it means to serve, what it costs. And I know my son doesn't understand that. I'd like to fix it. Maya's mind raced. He'd pulled her file. Not the DevGru stuff, that was sealed tighter than Fort Knox, but her basic bio, father's service record, her undergraduate degree. Publicly available information, but he'd gotten it in under 3 hours. That took resources. And connections. Where and when? She asked. Do you know Barton Springs? The park, not the pool. There's a picnic area near the south entrance. 1 hour. I'll be alone. So will I. I don't think that's true, Ms. Chen, but I appreciate the fiction. He hung up. Maya switched back to Sarah. You get that? Every word. It's a trap. Obviously. So you're not going. Maya pulled out of the parking spot, checked her mirrors. The Mercedes was gone. I'm absolutely going. This is the opening we needed. Maya, he's scared, Sarah. If he wanted me disappeared, he wouldn't call. He'd send professionals. This is an intimidation play. Feel out the opposition. See what I know. Maybe offer money. Or he's stalling while his people move into position. Then they'll be disappointed when they find out I'm not an easy target. Maya merged onto I-35 heading south. I want full surveillance, drones if you can get them, counter-surveillance teams at 3 points, and have the Austin PD ready to roll if this goes sideways. You're asking for a lot of resources for a meet that might be nothing. Richard Davidson doesn't do nothing. He's a player. Real estate development is just his day job. The FBI's had his name in 3 different trafficking investigations over the past 5 years. Never enough evidence to move forward, but always there, hovering in the background. Shell companies, offshore accounts, property transfers that don't make sense. Maya changed lanes, watching her mirrors. He's connected to this. I can feel it. Sarah sighed. You've got your surveillance, but Maya, if he makes any move that feels wrong, you abort. We can't afford to lose you over a hunch. Understood. I mean it. No hero shit. You're intelligence gathering, not door kicking. When have I ever kicked down doors? Abbottabad, Mosul, that compound in Yemen. Should I keep going? Maya smiled despite herself. That was different. I was younger. You're 26. Exactly, ancient. She hung up and focused on driving. 45 minutes later, Maya walked into Barton Springs Park wearing jeans, a fitted black t-shirt, and a light jacket that concealed the compact Glock 43 at the small of her back. She'd ditched the grad student costume. If Richard Davidson had done his homework, he already knew she was more than she appeared. Time to show him how much more. He was waiting at a picnic table under a massive oak tree, wearing slacks and a polo shirt that probably cost more than Maya's monthly rent. Late 50s, fit for his age, with salt and pepper hair and the kind of tan that came from golf courses, not construction sites. Ms. Chen, thank you for coming. He stood, extended his hand. Maya ignored it. You've got 5 minutes. Talk. Richard lowered his hand, smiled. Direct. I appreciate that. Please, sit. She remained standing. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. My son is an idiot. Entitled, arrogant. Everything I tried not to raise him to be. But money has a way of poisoning character. Richard sat back down, folded his hands on the table. What happened this morning was unacceptable. He harassed you, assaulted you, and you defended yourself with admirable restraint. Is there a point coming? The point is that Brett is facing consequences. I've pulled his credit cards, suspended his allowance, and I'm making him sit down with a therapist who specializes in toxic masculinity and privilege. Richard's expression was earnest, concerned father perfect. I want him to understand what he did wrong, to grow from this. Maya kept her face neutral. That's between you and your son, not my problem. But it could be. The video is everywhere. Brett's face is all over social media. His teammates' faces. They're getting death threats, rape threats. People are doxing them, showing up at their dorms. One kid had to move back home because someone threw a brick through his window. Again, not my problem. Ms. Chen, I'm trying to protect everyone here, including you. Richard leaned forward. That video shows you using military-grade combat techniques. People are asking questions. Who is she? What's her background? Why does a grad student fight like special forces? There it was. The threat, wrapped in concern. Maya pulled out her phone, opened Twitter, and showed him the screen. See that hashtag? Hashtag Coffee Shop Warrior. Trending number 3 in the United States. You know what people are saying? That I'm a hero. That your son is a predator who finally got what he deserved. That more women should learn to fight back. I've seen it. Then you know that making me disappear or silencing me would create a firestorm you can't control. I'm not some scared international student who'll take a payout and go away quietly. She pocketed her phone. So let's drop the act. What do you really want? Richard's smile faded. I want to know who you really are. Maya Chen, master student, UT. That's all you need to know. Is it? Because I made some calls. Your undergraduate transcripts are sealed. Your financial aid is coming from a grant that doesn't show up in any federal database. And when I tried to pull your background check, 3 different agencies told me to fuck off. He stood slowly. So I'll ask again. Who are you, really? Someone you don't want as an enemy. See, that's what worries me. Because enemies are predictable. They have demands, wants. But you? You showed up in Austin 6 weeks ago with a perfect cover story and immediately started hanging around campus coffee shops where my son and his friends recruit girls for parties. That's not random. That's surveillance. Maya's hand drifted toward her jacket. Not obvious, not threatening, just positioning. Richard noticed. Relax. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm just trying to understand the game board, because right now I can't tell if you're a cop, a fed, or something else entirely. Does it matter? It matters to me. I've built something in this city, something that took 30 years of hard work, and I won't let it be destroyed by some crusading federal agent with a vendetta. Built something. Maya let the words hang. Is that what you call it? Careful. Richard's voice dropped 10 degrees. Innuendo without evidence is called slander. Then I guess it's a good thing I didn't say anything specific. They stared at each other across the picnic table. Birds sang in the oak tree. Joggers passed on the trail 50 feet away. Somewhere in the distance, children laughed at the playground. 2 predators sizing each other up in broad daylight. Richard broke first. I'm going to give you some advice, Miss Chen, free of charge. Austin is a small city pretending to be big. Everyone knows everyone. And the people with real power, the ones who actually run things, they don't like outsiders coming in and stirring up trouble. Is that a threat? It's a warning, from one vet to another. He reached into his pocket. Maya's hand closed on her Glock. Richard froze. Easy, just my wallet. He moved slowly, deliberately, and pulled out a business card. Set it on the table. My private number. If you ever need anything, Job opportunities, legal help, whatever. You call me. I take care of people who don't cause problems. And people who do cause problems? They usually leave town, voluntarily or otherwise. Richard started walking toward the parking lot, then paused. One more thing. That video? I can make it disappear. Every copy, every share, gone by midnight. All I need is your word that this ends here. And if I say no? Then I stop being nice. He walked away without looking back. Maya waited until he was out of sight, then tapped her earpiece. Tell me you got all that. Sarah's voice crackled in her ear. Every word. Holy shit, Maya. He basically admitted to nothing. He's too smart for that. But he confirmed he knows I'm surveilling Brett. Which means he's protecting Brett for a reason beyond parental love. Sarah paused. We got facial recognition on 3 cars in the parking lot. One's registered to a shell company that links back to Davidson. 2 others are rentals with fake IDs. You've got a tail. How many? At least 4 that we can confirm. Maybe more. Maya started walking, not toward her car, but deeper into the park. Options? Austin PD can grab them on pretense. Broken taillight, expired tags, whatever. No. If we spook them now, they'll just send better surveillance next time. Let them follow. I want to know their playbook. You're using yourself as bait. I'm already bait. Might as well make it count. Maya cut through a grove of trees, emerged on a jogging trail. Have the team mark all Davidson's known associates, properties, shell companies. If he's moving pieces, I want to know. Already on it. Maya, what he said about making you disappear. Empty threat. If he wanted me gone, I'd already be gone. This was a fishing expedition. He's trying to figure out what agency I'm with, what we know, what our play is. Did it work? Maya smiled coldly. He thinks I'm DEA or FBI, Trafficking Task Force. Which means he doesn't know about the SEAL background. That's an advantage. For now, when those 4 boys start talking about how a girl kicked their asses, they won't. Brett's too embarrassed. His teammates are too scared of losing their scholarships. And Davidson will make sure they stay quiet. Maya emerged from the park onto a residential street. But he's going to retaliate. Men like that always do. The question is how. She got her answer 6 hours later. Maya was in her apartment, a 1-bedroom off Riverside that the FBI was renting under a fake lease, when her phone buzzed with an alert. Campus security notification. Attention, female student reported missing. Yuki Tanaka, 20, international student from Japan. Last seen leaving Jester Dormitory at 9 p.m. If you have any information, please contact UTPD immediately. Maya's blood turned to ice. She pulled up Yuki's photo. Young, smiling, wearing a UT shirt, the same dormitory where Maya had traced 2 of the other missing girls. Her phone rang. Sarah. Tell me you're seeing this. Sarah's voice was tight. I'm seeing it. This is him. This is Davidson. Maya was already moving, grabbing her go-bag from the closet. The timeline's too perfect. I confront Brett this morning, meet with his father this afternoon, and by tonight, another girl disappears? Could be coincidence. You don't believe that any more than I do. Maya checked her Glock, grabbed spare magazines. This is a message. Back off or more girls vanish. He's escalating. Then we pull you out and bring in the full task force. SWAT, hostage rescue, the works. And Yuki dies while we're planning the operation. You know how this works, Sarah. First 48 hours are critical. After that... Maya didn't finish the sentence. So what's your play? I'm going to Brett's apartment. He knows something. And I'm going to make him tell me. Maya, you can't just watch me. She hung up, grabbed her jacket, and was out the door before Sarah could call back. Brett Davidson lived in a high-rise near campus, the kind of place that cost $4,000 a month and came with valet parking. Maya bypassed the front desk, too many cameras, and took the service entrance. 2 minutes of lockpicking got her into the stairwell. Apartment 1847, 18th floor. She took the stairs 2 at a time, her mind already 3 steps ahead. Brett would be home, probably drinking, definitely sulking. His teammates might be with him, or he might be alone, depending on how thoroughly his father had chewed him out. Either way, he was about to have a very bad night. Maya reached the 18th floor, checked the hallway. Empty. She moved to Brett's door, listened. Voices inside. Multiple. Male and female. Party. Of course he was throwing a party. Arrogant prick. Probably thought this morning's humiliation would blow over by tomorrow. Maya knocked. The door opened. Tyler, the offensive lineman from the coffee shop. His eyes went wide. Oh shit. Maya pushed past him into the apartment. Brett was on the couch, beer in hand, surrounded by 6 people Maya didn't recognize. Music thumped from expensive speakers. The smell of weed hung in the air. Everyone froze when they saw her. "Party's over," Maya said quietly. "Everyone out. Now." "You can't just—" one of the girls started. "Out!" Maya's voice cut through the music. "Or I call campus police and report underage drinking, marijuana possession, and whatever else I see in the next 30 seconds. Your choice." They scattered like roaches. Tyler tried to follow them. "Not you," Maya pointed at him. "Sit." He sat. Brett stayed on the couch, trying to look tough, but failing. His right arm was in a sling from this morning. "You're breaking and entering." "I'm calling the cops." "Do it. I'll wait." Maya closed the door behind her, locked it. "While we're waiting, we can discuss Yuki Tanaka." Brett's face went pale. "I don't know who that is." "Bullshit. She's missing. Disappeared from Jester tonight. Same dorm as the last 3 girls who vanished this semester. All of them last seen at parties thrown by your father's company." That's not... I had nothing to do with..." Maya crossed the room in 3 steps, grabbed Brett's beer, and dumped it on his head. "Stop lying." "Jesus Christ!" Brett sputtered, trying to stand. Maya put her hand on his chest and pushed him back down. Not hard, just enough to make her point. "Tyler, you seem like the smart one. Why don't you tell me what's really going on?" Tyler's hands were shaking. "I swear we don't know anything about missing girls. We get invited to parties at Mr. Davidson's properties. There's free booze, girls, whatever. We show up, recruit some freshmen, bring them along. That's it." "Who else is at these parties?" "I don't know. Older guys. Business types. They don't really talk to us." "And the girls you recruit? What happens to them?" "Nothing. They party, they leave. Same as us." Maya looked at Brett. "Is that true?" Brett wiped beer from his face, his expression crumbling. "I don't know. I swear I don't know. My dad said it was networking, meeting donors, keeping the program funded. I never asked questions. But some girls don't leave." Silence. "Some girls don't leave." Maya's voice could have cut glass. "And you noticed. You had to notice. 3 girls disappear, and you just kept recruiting more?" Tyler's voice was barely a whisper. "We were told they went back to their home countries. Family emergencies. That's what Mr. Davidson said." "And you believed him." "We wanted to believe him." Tyler looked at his hands. "Because if we didn't believe him, that meant we were complicit," Maya finished. "Congratulations. You are." Brett stood up, his face red. My father wouldn't. He's not some kind of monster. Your father made you rich by trafficking women. How does that feel? Brett swung at her. Mistake. Maya caught his arm, his good arm, spun him around, and had him face down on the coffee table before his beer bottle hit the floor. Tyler started to stand. Maya shot him a look that nailed him to his chair. Here's what's going to happen, Maya said, her knee in Brett's back. You're going to tell me every detail about your father's parties, locations, who attends, security, everything. And then you're going to help me find Yuki before she ends up in a shipping container headed for Dubai. I can't. My father will kill me. Your father is going to prison. The only question is whether you go with him. Maya applied pressure. Brett screamed. Talk. Now. And he did. Brett's voice cracked as he spoke. There's a warehouse, east of the airport. My dad owns it through some company I can't pronounce. That's where they take the girls after the parties. Maya eased the pressure on his back. How many parties? 2, maybe 3 a month. Started last year. Brett's breath came in ragged gasps. I thought it was just networking. Rich alumni wanting to meet the team. Free drinks, impress some freshmen. I swear I didn't know. You knew. Tyler's voice cut through the room. Don't lie to her, Brett. You knew something was wrong when May disappeared. Brett's head snapped toward his teammate. Shut up. May Zhang, computer science major. You brought her to the November party. She left with some guy in a Mercedes, and we never saw her again. Tyler stood, his whole body shaking. I asked you about it. You said your dad said she went back to China. But her roommate told me May's family was calling campus security looking for her. You knew, Brett. You fucking knew, and you kept going to the parties. Maya released Brett and turned to Tyler. Where is this warehouse? I don't know. I've never been. Only Brett goes with his dad. That's not true. Brett scrambled off the table, cradling his arm. Marcus went once. Last month. Ask him. Where's Marcus now? His place, off Guadalupe. Tyler pulled out his phone with shaking hands. I'll call him. Don't. Maya grabbed the phone. We go in person. If Davidson has ears everywhere, we can't risk phone calls. She looked at Brett. You're coming with us. If you run, I'll hunt you down. If you warn your father, I'll make sure every news outlet in America knows you're a trafficker. Understand? Brett nodded, his eyes wet. Tyler, you stay here. If anyone asks, Brett went home sick. Got it? What about Yuki? How do we find her? Maya was already moving toward the door. By getting to that warehouse before they ship her out. Move. 20 minutes later, Maya and Brett stood outside a duplex near campus. Marcus answered on the third knock, took one look at Maya, and tried to slam the door. Maya's boot stopped it. We need to talk about the warehouse. Marcus went white. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You went there with Brett's dad, last month. You saw something that scared you so bad, you stopped going to the parties. Maya pushed the door open. What did you see? Marcus looked at Brett. Did you tell her? She made me. Mark, there's another girl missing. Yuki Tanaka. We have to help her. We can't. If we talk, we're dead. Davidson made that very clear. Maya stepped inside, closed the door. Richard Davidson threatened you? Not him directly, one of his guys. Said if I ever mentioned what I saw, they'd plant drugs in my dorm and call immigration on my parents. Marcus slumped against the wall. My folks are from Jamaica. They're here on work visas. One phone call and they get deported. I can't risk that. What did you see, Marcus? He was quiet for a long moment, staring at his hands. When he finally spoke, his voice was barely audible. Cages. In the back of the warehouse. Metal cages like you'd keep dogs in. But there were girls inside. 3 of them. Asian, I think. Maybe Hispanic. They looked drugged or something, just sitting there, staring at nothing. Brett made a choking sound. Jesus Christ, Mark. Why didn't you tell me? Because you're his son. What was I supposed to say? Hey, Brett, your dad's running a fucking slave trade? Marcus's voice rose. I kept my mouth shut and prayed those girls got out safe. Told myself it was temporary housing or something. Anything but what it obviously was. Maya's jaw tightened. Did you see where in the warehouse? Specific location? Back corner, behind these shipping containers. There was a guy guarding them. Big dude, looked military, had a sidearm. Armed guard means high-value assets. He's moving them soon. Maya pulled out her phone, texted Sarah. We need to hit that warehouse tonight, right now. We? Brett's voice cracked. You're not seriously expecting us to. You got these girls into this mess. You're helping get them out. Maya's eyes were ice. Besides, you're the only one who can get us inside without triggering alarms. Your father trusts you. Use it. He'll kill me when he finds out. He'll kill you anyway. You're a liability now. Either you help me save Yuki, or you become another loose end Richard Davidson needs to tie off. Maya moved toward the door. Clock's ticking. What's it going to be? Brett looked at Marcus, who nodded slowly. I'm in. My parents didn't come to America so their son could be complicit in trafficking. I'll do whatever you need. Same. Brett's voice was stronger now. But we need Jake. He's got access to the security system for my dad's properties. He set up the cameras as a summer job. Where's Jake? ER, getting his nose fixed. Brett pulled out his phone. But I can call him. Make it fast. 30 minutes later, all four of them were crammed into Maya's Honda, heading east on Highway 71. Jake sat in the back, his face wrapped in bandages, breathing through his mouth. He'd brought a laptop. Security system runs through a central server, Jake explained, his voice nasal and thick. I've got admin access from when I installed it. Can disable cameras, unlock doors, whatever you need. Can you do it remotely? Yeah, but it'll trigger a notification on Mr. Davidson's phone. He'll know someone's in the system. How long before he responds? Depends where he is. If he's home, maybe 10 minutes. If he's across town, 30. Maya calculated. That's not enough time to search a warehouse and extract hostages. What if we don't disable the cameras? Marcus leaned forward. What if we loop the footage? Make it look like nothing's happening? Jake's eyes lit up. That could work. The system has a buffer. I can feed it old footage, make it run on repeat. As long as nobody's actively watching the live feed, they won't notice. Do it. Maya took the exit toward the airport. Brett, call your father. Tell him you're sorry about this morning. You want to make it right. You're heading to the warehouse to help with inventory or whatever bullshit he'll believe. He's not going to buy it. He will if you sell it right. You're his son. He wants to believe you're loyal. Maya glanced at him in the rearview mirror. And if he doesn't buy it, he'll send someone to check, which means we'll know we're burned and can adapt. Brett dialed with shaking hands. Dad, it's me. Pause. Yeah, I know it's late. Listen, I've been thinking about what you said. About stepping up, taking responsibility. I want to help with the business. The real business. Another pause. The warehouse. I want to learn. Be useful. His face relaxed slightly. Yeah? Okay. Thanks, Dad. I won't let you down. He hung up. He bought it. Said to grab inventory sheets from the office when I get there. Count the shipments, make sure numbers match. Shipments. The word tasted like poison in Maya's mouth. That's what he calls them. The warehouse appeared through the darkness like a beached ship. 30,000 square feet of corrugated metal and broken dreams, surrounded by a chain-link fence with razor wire. A single light burned over the entrance. Maya killed the headlights and parked 2 blocks away. Jake, loop the cameras. Give us a 30-minute window. Jake's fingers flew across the keyboard. Done. Cameras are showing footage from 2 nights ago. Place was empty then. Should look empty now. Marcus, Brett, you're with me. Jake, you stay here. If anything goes wrong, you call this number. Maya handed him a card with Sarah's contact. Tell her Maya's blown and needs extraction. Got it? Jake nodded, his eyes wide behind the bandages. Maya checked her Glock, chambered around. Let's go get Yuki. The fence was easy. Maya scaled it in seconds, dropped silently on the other side, and held the chain link open for Brett and Marcus. They moved across the parking lot like ghosts, staying low, using parked trucks for cover. The door was locked. Brett pulled out a key. My dad gave me access 6 months ago. Said I might need to check inventory if he was traveling. He was grooming you. Maya's voice was flat. Making you complicit bit by bit, until you were too dirty to walk away. Brett's hand shook as he turned the key. The lock clicked. The door swung open. Inside, the warehouse was a maze of shipping containers, forklifts, and industrial shelving. The smell hit them first. Sweat, urine, fear. The overhead lights were off, but emergency strips cast everything in sickly green. Where? Maya whispered. Brett pointed toward the back. Dad's office is that way. If the cages are here, they'd be behind those containers. They moved deeper into the warehouse. Maya's training kicked in. Check corners, clear angles, stay aware of exits. Brett and Marcus followed close, their breathing too loud, their footsteps too heavy. Amateur mistakes that could get them killed. They rounded a container and froze. The cages were exactly where Marcus said they'd be. 6 of them. Chain link boxes, 8 by 8, secured with padlocks. 3 were occupied. One girl was curled in the corner, rocking back and forth, muttering in a language Maya didn't recognize. Another sat perfectly still, her eyes vacant, drugged into compliance. The third was Yuki Tanaka. She looked up when she saw them, hope and terror warring in her eyes. Please, please help me. Brett made a strangled sound. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Stay focused. Maya approached the cage, examining the lock. Industrial padlock. Needs a key or bolt cutters. Marcus, find something to cut this. Brett, check your dad's office for keys. I can't breathe. Brett was hyperventilating. Breathe later. Move, now. Maya's voice cut through his panic. Those girls are counting on you. Don't let them down again. Brett stumbled toward the office. Marcus disappeared behind a container, searching for tools. Maya knelt beside Yuki's cage. My name is Maya. I'm getting you out of here. Are you hurt? They drugged me. Something in the drink at the party. When I woke up, I was here. Yuki's voice was surprisingly steady. The other 2 girls, they've been here for weeks. They stopped fighting, stopped talking. I think they're broken. They're not broken. They're surviving. Big difference. Maya examined the cage more closely. The welds were professional, but not military grade. When was the last time someone checked on you? An hour ago. Big man. He brings water, tells us to shut up, says we're leaving tomorrow night. Shipping you out. Yuki nodded, tears streaming down her face. He said, Dubai, oil money. We'd be worth more there than here. Maya's blood turned to ice. Did he say how many girls are being shipped? 12. 6 here, 6 from another location. He was bragging about the payout, like we were cattle. Brett returned, his face pale, holding a ring of keys. Found them in the desk. There's also paperwork, invoices. It's all coded, but I think it's sale records. For the girls. Give me the keys. Maya grabbed them, started trying each one in the padlock. Third key turned. The lock clicked open. Yuki, can you walk? I think so. Good. Help the others. We're getting everyone out. Marcus appeared with bolt cutters. Found these by the loading dock. Cut the other locks, fast and quiet. Maya opened Yuki's cage, helped her out. The girl's legs buckled. Maya caught her. Easy, you've got this. The guard, he'll come back. Let him. Maya's smile was cold. I have questions for him anyway. As if summoned, footsteps echoed from the far end of the warehouse. Heavy boots, confident stride. A man's voice called out. Davidson, that you? Thought your boy was coming by. Maya pushed Yuki behind a container, signaled Marcus and Brett to stay low. The guard rounded the corner, 6'2", 220, tactical vest, sidearm on his hip. Ex-military, just like Marcus said. He saw the open cages and reached for his gun. Maya was faster. She closed the distance in 3 steps, grabbed his wrist before the gun cleared the holster, and twisted. The guard grunted, tried to use his size advantage. Maya drove her knee into his thigh, not the groin, not yet, deadening the muscle. He stumbled. She swept his legs, rode him to the ground, and had his own gun pressed against his temple before he could blink. Don't move. Don't speak. Don't breathe wrong. Maya's voice was arctic. Who do you work for? Fuck you! She pressed the gun harder. Wrong answer. Let's try again. Who gives you orders? I want a lawyer. You're not under arrest. You're not getting a lawyer. You're getting a bullet if you don't start talking. Maya pulled back the hammer. I'm going to ask you one more time. After that, things get messy. Who runs the trafficking operation? The guard's eyes flicked toward Brett. Ask him. It's his family business. Brett made a choking sound. I swear I didn't know the extent. Shut up, Brett. Maya kept her eyes on the guard. Names. How many people are involved? You think I'm going to rat? They'll kill me. I'll kill you right now. Choose fast. Maya. Marcus's voice was tight with fear. Someone's coming. I hear a car. Maya's mind raced. They had maybe 60 seconds before whoever it was walked through that door. Not enough time to secure the guard, free the other girls, and escape unseen. Time to adapt. She pulled the guard's radio from his belt. Who's checking in? How often? Every hour, on the hour. Maya glanced at her watch. 11:47. 13 minutes until the next check-in. She keyed the radio. Control, this is warehouse. All quiet. Inventory's locked down. Static. Then a voice. Copy that. Boss is on his way. ETA 5 minutes. Maya's blood went cold. Boss? Richard Davidson. He's coming personally. Brett's face went white. He never comes here. Never. Something spooked him. Your phone call. Marcus grabbed Brett's shoulder. He didn't buy it. He's coming to check on you. Or someone told him about the looped security footage. Maya stood, hauled the guard to his feet. How many men does Davidson usually bring? 2, sometimes 3, all armed. Armed security at a warehouse in the middle of the night. Maya shoved the guard toward Brett. Zip tie him. Use his own cuffs. With what? Figure it out! Maya moved to the cages, started unlocking the others with the keyring. The second girl, the one who'd been rocking, looked up at her with hollow eyes. Can you understand me? No response. Try Vietnamese, Yuki said. I heard her mumbling earlier. Maya switched languages. Tôi sẽ giúp bạn. We're leaving. Can you walk? The girl's eyes focused slightly. She nodded. Good. Help your friend. Maya moved to the third cage. The catatonic girl didn't even look up when Maya opened the door. Yuki, I need you to snap her out of it, whatever it takes. We have 4 minutes before Davidson arrives with armed security." "What are you going to do?" "Something incredibly stupid." Maya checked her Glock's magazine. 15 rounds. She had 2 spare mags. 45 rounds total against 3 armed professionals in an enclosed space with civilians in the crossfire. The math sucked. But Maya had fought worse odds in Fallujah. "Brett, Marcus, get those girls out the side exit."
"North side of the building. You see a fire door?"
"Yeah, but it's alarmed." "Not anymore. Jake disabled it when he looped the cameras. Go now, stay low, get to my car, drive to the nearest police station, and tell them everything." "What about you?" Brett's voice cracked. "I'm buying you time. Now move." They moved, half carrying the drugged girls toward the exit. Yuki looked back at Maya. "Thank you." "Thank me when you're safe." Maya turned to the guard, who Brett had secured to a cage with the man's own handcuffs. "Where does Davidson enter?" "Front door, main entrance." "What's his security protocol?" "One man sweeps first, all clear signal. Then Davidson enters with the second guard." "Radio codes?" "Green means clear, red means threat, yellow means hold position." Maya smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Perfect." She dragged the guard behind a container, gagged him with his own shirt, and moved to a position 15 feet from the main entrance with clear sightlines and cover. Then she waited. Headlights swept through the high windows, car doors slammed, voices outside, muffled but urgent. The main entrance opened. The first guard came through exactly as predicted. Tactical vest, rifle at low ready, sweeping corners with practiced efficiency. Maya watched him clear the first row of containers, then the second. He was good, professional, probably former SWAT or private military. He reached for his radio. "Control, this is Diaz. Warehouse appears." Maya stepped out. "Drop the weapon." Diaz spun, bringing the rifle up. Maya was already firing. 2 shots, center mass, aimed for the vest. The impacts knocked him backward. She closed the distance before he recovered, kicked the rifle away, and had her Glock pressed against his throat. "Radio. Now. Tell them all clear." Diaz's eyes were wide with shock and pain. The vest had stopped the bullets, but broken ribs made breathing agony. He fumbled for the radio. "Say anything except all clear and I'll put the next round through your skull. Are we clear?" He nodded, keyed the radio. "Control. All clear. Green status." "Good boy." Maya zip-tied his hands with his own restraints, then his ankles, gagged him, dragged him behind the container with the first guard. Then she moved back to her position and waited. The second guard entered 30 seconds later. He was smarter than the first, didn't sweep in a predictable pattern, used irregular timing, checked his 6. But he made one mistake. He trusted the all-clear signal. Maya took him from behind. Silent, efficient. A rear-naked choke that cut blood flow to his brain. He struggled for 10 seconds, then went limp. She secured him like the others and checked her watch. 2 minutes since Diaz's all clear. Davidson would be getting suspicious. Right on cue, his voice echoed from outside. "Diaz, status." Maya grabbed Diaz's radio, keyed it, and pitched her voice low and masculine. "All clear, boss. Just checking the inventory." Silence. Then footsteps. Richard Davidson entered alone. He saw Maya immediately, saw her gun, saw his 2 guards unconscious behind her. His face went through shock, calculation, and finally settled on cold fury. "Ms. Chen, I have to admit, I didn't expect this level of stupidity. Funny, I expected exactly this level of evil." Maya kept her gun trained on his chest. "On your knees, hands behind your head. Do you have any idea what you've done?" The people I work with don't forgive interference. They will hunt you, your family, everyone you've ever cared about. I'm a former Navy SEAL who helped kill bin Laden. Your human trafficking friends don't scare me. Maya's voice was ice. Knees. Now.
You're bluffing about Abbottabad.
Am I? Maya's smile was cold. DEVGRU, Team 6, youngest female operator in history. Want me to describe the compound? Tell you which door I breached? Davidson's face went pale. You're the one from the news. The legend. I thought that was propaganda. Nope. Very real. Very here. Very done with your bullshit. Maya advanced, gun steady. You trafficked women, sold them like cattle, ruined lives to pad your bank account, and you used your son as camouflage. Brett knew what he was getting into. Brett's a stupid kid who wanted his daddy's approval. You manipulated him. Maya was 5 feet away now. Where are the other 6 girls? The ones being shipped with these 3? I don't know what you're talking about. Maya shot him in the leg. Davidson screamed, crumpled, clutching his thigh. You fucking shot me! Femoral artery is 3 inches to the right. You're welcome. Now answer the question or the next one goes there. Maya's voice never wavered. Where are the other girls? Warehouse. In Houston. River Oaks District. Davidson's face was white with pain. They're being moved to a ship tomorrow night. Container vessel. Headed to Yemen. Who else is involved? Names. You'll kill me anyway. Wrong. I'll make sure you live long enough to stand trial. See your empire crumble. Watch everything you built turn to ash. Maya pulled out her phone, hit record. Start talking. Every name, every location, every detail. And if you lie, I'll know. Davidson talked. He talked for 7 minutes straight, naming suppliers, buyers, corrupt officials, shipping routes. Maya recorded every word, her face impassive even as the scope of the operation became clear. 12 cities, 7 states, 3 countries, hundreds of women over 4 years, and Richard Davidson at the center of it all, pulling strings, collecting profits, destroying lives. When he finished, Maya called Sarah. I need HRT and a medevac at my location. Multiple victims secured. Primary suspect in custody. And Sarah, we're going to need more than 1 task force. This thing goes way bigger than Austin. Sarah's response was immediate. Hostage rescue is 15 minutes out. Stay put. Do not engage further. Maya, are you hurt? Negative. But Davidson took a round to the leg. Non-lethal, but he needs medical. You shot a suspect? He resisted, violently. Maya looked at Davidson, who was trying to apply pressure to his wound with shaking hands. Real violent. FBI's going to have questions. They can get in line. Maya ended the call. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Red and blue lights painted the warehouse walls. Outside she heard voices, boots on pavement, the controlled chaos of a federal operation rolling in hot. The main door burst open. FBI agents in tactical gear flooded the building, weapons drawn, voices sharp with commands. Federal agents, show me your hands! Maya set her gun on the ground, raised her hands. Maya Chen, DEVGRU consultant. Primary suspect is secured. 3 victims safe. 2 more guards restrained behind Container 7. The lead agent, a man in his 50s with Jenkins on his vest, approached cautiously. Jen? Sarah said you'd be here. Where's the suspect? Maya gestured with her head. Bleeding, non-fatal. He'll live to see trial. Jenkins looked at Davidson, then at Maya. You shot him. He tripped into a bullet. Very clumsy. That's not going to fly in the report. Then I guess you better make it sound convincing. Maya lowered her hands. The other 6 victims are in Houston, River Oaks District. Container ship leaves tomorrow night. If we don't move now, they're gone. Jenkins spoke into his radio. All units, we have secondary location. Houston. I want tactical teams rolling in 10 minutes. He looked back at Maya. You're coming with us. Sarah's orders. Wouldn't miss it. Maya walked past him toward the exit, where paramedics were loading the 3 rescued girls into ambulances. Yuki saw her, waved weakly from her stretcher. Maya nodded back. One small victory in a war that never ended. But it was something. Outside, Brett sat in the back of a squad car, his head in his hands. Marcus stood with the detective giving a statement. Jake was still in Maya's car, laptop open, probably erasing his digital footprints. Sarah appeared from the darkness, her face grim. You were supposed to gather intelligence, not stage a one-woman raid. Plans change. You shot a suspect, Maya, in the leg, without backup. He was reaching for a weapon. Was he? Maya met her eyes. He was going to if I'd given him another second. I made a tactical decision to neutralize the threat without lethal force. That's what you trained me to do. Sarah stared at her for a long moment, then shook her head. You're going to be the death of me. Nah, I'll keep you young, all this excitement. Maya's smile didn't reach her eyes. Houston, when do we roll? 2 hours. Tactical planning, then we hit them at dawn. Sarah handed her a coffee from somewhere. You should rest. I'll rest when those 6 girls are safe. Maya, Sarah, I was in one of those cages for 18 days in Yemen. You know what that does to someone. Every hour we wait is an eternity for them. Maya's voice was quiet but firm. I'm going to Houston, with or without authorization. Sarah sighed. With, definitely with. I'm not letting you go rogue again. She paused. Yemen. You never talk about Yemen. Nothing to talk about. I got out. Others didn't. Maya finished the coffee, crushed the cup. Let's make sure these 6 get the same chance I did. 2 hours later, Maya was in a helicopter heading south, watching the lights of Houston grow from pinpricks to a sprawling web of civilization. Somewhere in that city, 6 women waited in the dark, not knowing if rescue would come or if they'd disappear into a nightmare that never ended. Maya checked her weapons, ran through mental rehearsals, and prepared to kick down another door. Because that's what SEALs did. They brought people home. The helicopter touched down on a Houston PD rooftop at 4:47 a.m. Maya was first out, ducking under the rotors, her tactical vest heavy with equipment she hadn't worn in 6 months. Sarah followed, then Jenkins and 4 members of the FBI's hostage rescue team. Warehouse is 3 miles south, Jenkins shouted over the rotor wash. Local PD has the perimeter locked down. No movement in or out since midnight. That's the problem. Maya checked her sidearm, chambered around. If they haven't moved, either they don't know we're coming or they're waiting for us. Waiting? Why would they wait? Because Richard Davidson had 5 hours to make phone calls before we secured his phone. Want to bet he didn't warn his partners? Maya moved toward the roof access door. This could be a trap. Sarah grabbed her arm. Then we abort. Call in more backup. Wait for daylight. Those girls don't have until daylight. Container ship leaves at 6 a.m. That's 73 minutes from now. Maya pulled free. We go now or we lose them forever. Jenkins spoke into his radio. All teams, advance to staging positions. Rules of engagement. Hostages are priority 1. Lethal force authorized on armed resistance. Chen's right. This smells like a setup. They moved through the building in tactical formation, boots echoing in the concrete stairwell. Maya's mind was already 3 steps ahead, running scenarios, calculating angles. 6 hostages, unknown number of hostiles, Enclosed space. Civilians potentially in the line of fire. Every operator's nightmare. They emerged into an alley 2 blocks from the target. The warehouse loomed against the pre-dawn sky, massive, dark, silent as a tomb. Too silent. I don't like this. Sarah checked her weapon. Where's the security? Davidson's Austin operation had guards, cameras, the works. This place looks abandoned. Because it is. A new voice cut through the darkness. Everyone spun, weapons raised. A woman stepped from the shadows, hands visible, no weapon. Mid-40s, Hispanic, wearing jeans and a FBI windbreaker. "Who the hell are you?" Jenkins demanded. "Special Agent Maria Rodriguez, DEA. I've been working this trafficking ring for 2 years." She looked at Maya. "You must be Chen. Sarah told me you were coming." "You're DEA? Why wasn't your agency in the loop?" "Because half my department is on Davidson's payroll. The moment this operation went federal, I got pulled from the case. Officially, I'm on administrative leave." Rodriguez moved closer, keeping her hands visible. "Unofficially, I've been tracking the shipment independently, and I'm telling you right now, that warehouse is empty." Maya's jaw tightened. "You're sure?" "Positive. They moved the girls 4 hours ago, different location. I followed the truck but lost them in the Port District." "Son of a bitch." Jenkins kicked a dumpster. "Davidson warned them. Where are they now?" "That's the problem. The port has 200 warehouses, 3 container yards, and a dozen ships loading cargo. Without specific intel, we'd need a week to search it all." "We don't have a week. We have an hour." Maya turned to Rodriguez. "You said you followed the truck. What kind?" "White panel van. Commercial plates. 2 men in front. Couldn't see in back." "Direction?" "East. Toward the international terminal." Maya pulled out her phone, opened a satellite map of the Houston port. "International terminal handles cargo to Middle East and Asia. If they're shipping to Yemen like Davidson said, they'd use Pier 9 or 12. Both have weekly departures." Sarah leaned over her shoulder. "That's still 2 massive facilities. We can't search both in time." "We don't have to search. We track." Maya zoomed in on Pier 12. "Rodriguez, when you followed the van, did you see any identifying marks? Rust patterns, dents, anything?" "Yeah, left rear panel had damage, like someone had backed into a pole. Paint was scraped, showing bare metal." "Good, that's searchable." Maya switched to a different app, pulled up port security camera access. "Sarah, I need your FBI credentials. Port Authority won't give me access without federal authorization." Sarah handed over her badge. Maya started typing, her fingers flying across the screen. "If that van entered the port, cameras caught it. Every entrance has ALPR, automatic license plate readers. We find the plate, we find the van, we find the girls." Jenkins watched over her shoulder. "That's illegal search without a warrant." "So arrest me later. Right now, I'm finding those women." Maya's screen populated with data. Dozens of white vans had entered the port in the past 6 hours. She filtered by timestamp, 4 hours ago, and location, east entrance near International Terminal. 3 matches. Got it. Panel van, commercial plates, entered through Gate 7 at 1:14 a.m. Last camera ping was Pier 12, Warehouse Complex Delta. Maya looked up. "That's our target." "How do you know it's the right van?" "Because it hasn't left. Every other vehicle that entered that time frame exited within 2 hours. This one's still there." Maya was already moving. Weapons check complete. Game face on. "That means either they're loading cargo or waiting for the ship. Either way, we've got them." Rodriguez fell into step beside her. "I'm coming with you." "The hell you are? You're on administrative leave." "Which means I've got nothing to lose. Those girls? One of them is my niece. Disappeared 3 months ago. I've been chasing this case on my own time, my own dime, burning every favor I have. So yeah, I'm coming. Try and stop me. Maya looked at Sarah, who shrugged. She's got skin in the game. We could use someone who knows the players. Fine, but you follow my lead. This goes tactical. You stay behind cover. Understood? Crystal. They moved through the port like ghosts. Shipping containers towered on both sides, creating narrow corridors of rusted metal and darkness. The smell of salt water and diesel fuel hung thick in the air. Maya's earpiece crackled. Sniper 1 in position. I've got eyes on Warehouse Delta. Confirm 2 armed guards at main entrance. Light inside. Can't see through windows. Sniper 2, east side clear. No visible exit. Wait, I've got movement. Side door. 1 male exiting, talking on phone. Maya signaled the team to halt. Can you hear what he's saying? Negative, too far. But he's agitated, pacing. Keeps checking his watch. They know we're coming. Jenkins' voice was tight. Question is, are they running or fighting? Neither. Maya studied the warehouse layout on her phone. They're stalling. Ship doesn't leave for 40 minutes. They just need to hold us off until they can load the girls and cast off. Once they're in international waters, we've lost jurisdiction. Sarah moved up beside her. So we hit them now, fast and hard. No, we cut off their escape. Maya pointed to the pier. Rodriguez, how much do you know about container loading? Enough? Why? That ship can't leave without Port Authority clearance. If we lock down the pier, they're trapped. You want to bring Port Authority into this? They'll want warrants, supervisors, 20 layers of bureaucracy. We don't have time. Then we don't ask permission. Maya turned to Jenkins. You've got federal authority. Make a call. Tell Port Authority there's a credible bomb threat on that ship. They'll stop all loading operations immediately. Jenkins stared at her. That's falsifying a federal investigation. I could lose my badge. Better your badge than 6 women's lives. Make the call. He hesitated, then pulled out his phone. This better work, Chen. While Jenkins talked to Port Authority, Maya moved the team into position. HRT operators flanked both sides of the warehouse. Snipers had clear shots on all exits. Rodriguez crouched beside Maya, her DEA credentials giving her just enough authority to be dangerous. My niece's name is Sophia, Rodriguez said quietly. She's 19. Wanted to be a doctor. Full ride to Baylor. Then she met some guy at a party and... Her voice broke. I should have protected her. You couldn't have known. I'm DEA. I'm supposed to know. I see trafficking cases every day. But when it happens to your own family, you realize how blind you've been. How many girls I've failed to save. Rodriguez checked her weapon. So yeah, this is personal. And if anyone in that warehouse hurts Sophia, I'm not sure I can stay professional. Good. Maya's voice was ice. Professional gets people killed. Angry gets results. Use it. Maya's earpiece crackled. Port Authority just shut down Pier 12. All ships grounded. Bomb squad en route. Inside the warehouse, shouting erupted. Men's voices sharp with panic. The side door burst open. 3 men ran out, one of them screaming into a phone. Sniper 1, I've got clear shots on all 3 runners. Maya keyed her mic. Negative, let them go. They're rats fleeing the ship. We want who's still inside. The 3 men disappeared into the container maze. Good riddance. Movement at main entrance. 4 men coming out. Wait, they've got hostages. I count 6 females, hands bound, being used as shields. Sarah cursed. They're making a run for the ship. If they get the girls on board, they won't. Maya was already moving. HRT, on me. We're cutting them off at the gangway. Non-lethal if possible, but don't risk the hostages. She sprinted toward the pier, her team flowing behind her like water. The warehouse entrance was 200 yards away. The ship's gangway was 50 yards past that. The hostage-takers had a head start, but they were moving slow, dragging terrified women who could barely walk. Maya closed the distance in seconds. She emerged from behind a container stack 30 feet from the gangway. The 4 men saw her, swung their weapons toward her. Behind them, 6 young women stumbled, their faces bruised, their eyes hollow with despair. One of them was Sofia Rodriguez. Maya recognized her from the photo Maria had shown her. "FBI! Drop your weapons!" Maya's voice cut through the chaos. The lead hostage-taker, a thick-necked man with a Russian accent, laughed. "You'll drop weapon, or girls die. Simple choice, yes?" "Not that simple. See that red dot on your chest? That's a sniper." "You move wrong, you die. Your friends, too. Those girls walk free either way." Maya kept her Glock trained on his head. "Last chance. Drop the weapons." "You bluff. Americans never shoot with hostages present. Too much paperwork." He shoved Sofia forward. "We go to ship. You stay back, or she gets bullet." Maya's finger tightened on the trigger. 20 feet. Clear shot. But if she missed, Sofia died. Behind her, Rodriguez's voice was ragged with emotion. "That's my niece. Please, don't let him hurt her." The Russian heard. His smile widened. "Ah, family reunion. How touching." He pressed his gun against Sofia's head. "Maybe I shoot her anyway. Send message." "Do it and you're dead before she hits the ground." Maya's voice was flat, emotionless. The voice she'd used in Abbottabad when the stakes were life and death, and hesitation meant failure. "But you're smarter than that. You know Davidson's already talking, giving up names, locations. You're burned. Only play you have left is to surrender and hope for a deal." "Deal? Americans don't deal with men like me." "They do when you have information worth buying. Names of buyers, shipping routes, offshore accounts." Maya took one step forward. "Right now you're a low-level enforcer, expendable. But if you roll on your bosses, you become valuable. Witness protection, new identity, better than life in federal prison, or a bullet." The Russian hesitated. Maya saw the calculation in his eyes. Self-preservation warring with loyalty, fear fighting greed. Behind him, one of his men broke. "Dmitri, she's right. We're fucked. Ship's not leaving. Port's locked down. We're trapped." "Shut up, Pavel." "No, I'm not dying for Davidson, or Volkov, or anyone else." Pavel lowered his weapon. "I surrender. Full cooperation." Dmitri's gun swung toward Pavel. "Traitor!" Maya fired. The round took Dmitri in the shoulder, spinning him away from Sofia. She dove left. Rodriguez was already moving, tackling her niece, rolling them both behind cover. The other 2 hostage-takers froze, weapons half raised, staring at their bleeding leader. "Drop them! Now!" Maya's voice allowed no argument. They dropped. HRT operators swarmed in, securing the suspects, freeing the remaining hostages. Paramedics appeared from somewhere, tending to injuries, wrapping shock blankets around shaking shoulders. Sofia clung to her aunt, both of them crying. "I thought I was dead. I thought—" "Shh, you're safe now. I've got you." Rodriguez looked up at Maya, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you. Thank you." Maya nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. She turned away, giving them privacy, and found Sarah standing beside her. "Clean shot. By the book. Good work." "Didn't feel clean. Felt like I almost got a hostage killed." "But you didn't. That's what matters." Sarah squeezed her shoulder. "Come on."
We've still got a warehouse to clear.
Inside, they found more than they bargained for. Not just evidence of trafficking, though there was plenty of that, but a full operational headquarters. Computers, files, ledgers documenting 4 years of shipments, sales, profits, and a list of buyers. Jenkins whistled low. This is bigger than Davidson. Way bigger. We've got names here from 6 countries. Politicians, businessmen, a goddamn U.S. congressman. Bag it all. Maya moved through the warehouse, documenting everything with her phone camera. This is going to blow up in ways we can't even imagine. She was right. By noon, the story was everywhere. Every news outlet, every social media platform. FBI busts international trafficking ring. Navy SEAL saves 9 women. Maya's face was all over the internet. So much for staying anonymous. She sat in a Houston FBI office, watching the coverage on mute, while Sarah dealt with the media circus outside. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Chen? You cost me a lot of money. The voice was cold, accented, Eastern European. Davidson was good earner. You destroyed him. Destroyed his network. Destroyed my profits. Maya's blood went cold. Who is this? Someone who doesn't forgive debts. Someone who has many friends, many resources. You think you won because you save few girls? You won nothing. This business? It doesn't end. When I take one loss, I make 5 new operations. When one supplier falls, 3 more rise. The voice chuckled, dry and humorless. But you're just one woman. Alone. And eventually you'll slip. Make mistake. And when you do, my people will be waiting. Then they better bring an army. I've survived worse than you. We shall see. The line went dead. Maya stared at her phone, her hands shaking. Not from fear, from rage. Sarah entered, carrying coffee. You okay? You look... I just got a call. Threat from someone above Davidson in the food chain. Sarah's expression hardened. Did you trace it? Burner phone, probably already in a dumpster. Maya set her phone down. He's right, you know. We took down one network. There are dozens more, hundreds. This doesn't end. No, it doesn't. Sarah sat beside her. But we saved 9 women today. 9 lives that would have been destroyed. That has to count for something, does it? When there are thousands more we can't reach? Maya's voice was hollow. I spent 6 years fighting terrorists. Thought I was making a difference. But for every compound we raided, 3 more popped up. For every leader we killed, 5 more rose to replace him. At what point do we admit we're just bailing water from a sinking ship? At the point when we stop caring about the people we save. Sarah gripped her hand. Sofia Rodriguez is alive because of you. So is Yuki Tanaka and 7 others. They get to go home, heal, live. That's not nothing, Maya. That's everything. Maya wanted to believe her, wanted to feel the victory, the satisfaction of a mission accomplished. But all she could think about was that voice on the phone. Cold, confident, promising retribution. She'd made an enemy today. A powerful one. The kind that didn't forgive and didn't forget. The kind that would come for her eventually. Her phone buzzed again. This time a text from Brett Davidson. My father's cooperating with FBI, giving up everything. He said to tell you he's sorry, for what it's worth. Maya typed back, it's not worth anything. Sorry doesn't undo what he did. Brett's response came immediately. I know, I just thought you should know. Also, I withdrew from UT. I'm testifying against everyone involved. My dad's people, my teammates who knew. Everyone. I can't fix what I helped do, but I can make sure it doesn't happen again. Maya stared at the message for a long moment, then typed, Good. Don't stop halfway. Burn it all down. I will. I promise. She pocketed her phone. Maybe redemption was possible. Maybe people could change. Or maybe Brett would fold the moment things got hard. Maybe he'd take a plea deal, serve minimal time, and go right back to his privileged life. Time would tell. Sarah's phone rang. She answered, listened, her face going pale. When? How many? Pause. Jesus. Okay, we're on our way. She hung up and looked at Maya. We've got a problem. What now? Remember that congressman on the buyer list? Senator William Ashford from Virginia? Yeah, what about him? He just held a press conference. Claims the whole investigation is a deep state conspiracy. Says Davidson was framed. Says you're a rogue operative working outside legal authority. Sarah's voice was tight. He's calling for a congressional investigation into FBI overreach. Has 3 other senators backing him. Maya laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. Of course he is. Can't have his name on a trafficking buyer list. Better to burn down the investigation and paint us as the villains. It gets worse. Davidson's lawyer filed a motion to suppress all evidence from the warehouse raids, claims illegal search and seizure, without probable cause. We had probable cause. Witness testimony from Brett and Marcus, who are both facing potential charges themselves. Defense will argue they were coerced, that their statements were unreliable. Sarah rubbed her temples. Maya, there's a real chance Davidson walks, and if he walks, the whole case collapses. No. Maya stood, her voice hard. We didn't risk our lives, didn't save those 9 women just to watch some corrupt senator protect his rich friends. There has to be another way. There isn't. Not legally. Sarah met her eyes. Unless someone had evidence that didn't come from the raids. Something obtained independently. Something that can't be suppressed. Maya understood immediately. The recordings. I recorded Davidson's confession in the Austin warehouse, before the official FBI response. That's independent evidence. Is it admissible? Single-party consent state. Texas allows recording conversations as long as one person knows they're being recorded. I knew. That makes it legal. Maya pulled out her phone, opened the recording app. I've got 7 minutes of Davidson confessing to everything. Names, locations, methods, all of it. Sarah's smile was fierce. Then we leak it. Not officially, can't be traced to FBI. But once it's out there, the public pressure will be unstoppable. You're asking me to violate about 6 different federal regulations. I'm asking you to do what's right, not what's legal. Sarah held her gaze. Your call, Maya. You've already sacrificed enough. Nobody would blame you for walking away. Maya thought about Yuki, drugged and caged. About Sophia, moments from being shipped overseas. About 3 women still missing from Davidson's earlier operations. About all the women who'd never be found, never be saved, never come home. She opened her email, attached the recording file, and typed an address. The investigative desk at the Washington Post. Subject line: Senator Ashford's real business partners. Her finger hovered over send. 1 click, and she'd be burning every bridge she had left. Federal employment, SEAL reputation, any hope of a quiet life. 1 click, and she'd be painting a target on her back that would never come off. 1 click, and maybe, just maybe, 9 women would get the justice they deserved. Maya hit send. Done. Sarah nodded slowly. You know there's no coming back from this, right? Once that recording goes public, they'll know it came from you. You'll be fired, investigated, possibly prosecuted. I know. And you're okay with that? Maya thought about her father. Marine, 20 years of service, died in Fallujah protecting people who would never know his name. He'd taught her that some things were worth sacrificing for, that honor wasn't about medals or recognition. It was about doing the right thing when everything in you screamed to run. "Yeah," she said quietly. "I'm okay with that." 30 minutes later, her phone exploded with notifications. The Washington Post had published the recording. Every major outlet was picking it up. Social media was on fire. Senator Ashford's office released a statement denying everything. Too little, too late. The recording was crystal clear. By sunset, he'd resigned. 2 other senators on the buyer list followed within the hour. Davidson's lawyer withdrew the motion to suppress evidence. There was no point anymore. His client was done. Maya watched it all unfold from a hotel room in Houston, alone with a bottle of bourbon she didn't open and thoughts she couldn't quiet. Her phone buzzed. Sarah. "You did it. Davidson's taking a plea. Full cooperation. Life sentence. It's over." Maya typed back, "It's not over. It's never over." But for 9 women, at least tonight, it was. And sometimes, that had to be enough. 3 weeks later, Maya stood in front of a congressional committee, her hand raised, swearing to tell the truth. The chamber was packed with reporters, senators, and spectators who'd watched her story unfold across every screen in America. "Ms. Chen, you released a recording of Richard Davidson's confession without authorization from the FBI. Do you deny this?" Senator Patricia Morrison, the committee chair, peered over her reading glasses. "No, ma'am. I don't deny it." "You understand that action violated federal evidence protocols?" "I understand that 9 women are alive today because I took that action. I'd do it again." Maya's voice was steady. "With respect, Senator, those protocols were designed to protect the innocent, not to shield traffickers and their political sponsors." Morrison's expression softened slightly. "Ms. Chen, nobody's questioning your motives, but we have laws, procedures. When we bypass them, even for good reasons, we set dangerous precedents." "You want to talk about dangerous precedents?" Maya leaned forward. "Senator Ashford spent 4 years buying women like they were commodities. He used his position to obstruct investigations, threatened witnesses, all while sitting on the Judiciary Committee. That's the dangerous precedent." The chamber erupted in applause. Morrison banged her gavel. "Order! Ms. Chen, I'll remind you to answer questions, not make speeches." "Then ask me real questions, not whether I followed procedures while stopping a senator from trafficking human beings." Morrison studied her for a long moment. "Fair enough. Let's talk about your military background. You were part of DevGru, correct? SEAL Team 6? "That's classified, ma'am." "Your service record was leaked to the press 2 weeks ago. The whole world knows you were on the Abbottabad mission, so I'll ask again. You were part of DevGru?" Maya's jaw tightened. Someone had violated her sealed file. Someone with access and motivation. "Yes, ma'am, I was." "And you received a medical discharge 6 months ago. PTSD according to the file. Is that accurate?" "Yes." "Do you think your PTSD affected your judgment during this investigation? Made you more aggressive? More likely to bend rules?" Maya wanted to scream. Wanted to tell Morrison that PTSD didn't make her weak or unstable. That she'd saved more lives in 6 months of civilian work than most people did in a lifetime. That her trauma made her stronger, more empathetic, more determined to protect others from suffering what she'd endured. Instead, she said, "No, ma'am, my training affected my judgment. I'm trained to neutralize threats, to protect the innocent, to complete the mission regardless of personal cost. That's what I did." Morrison nodded slowly. One more question. Knowing what you know now, the political fallout, the legal challenges, the threats against your life, would you still have released that recording? Maya didn't hesitate. Yes. Why? Because those 9 women deserved justice, and sometimes justice requires sacrifice. The hearing lasted 4 more hours. Senators questioned her tactics, her authority, her mental fitness. Maya answered each question with the same calm precision she'd used in combat briefings. No emotion, no defensiveness, just facts. When it finally ended, Sarah met her in the corridor outside. You did good in there. Morrison's been getting calls all morning from victims' rights groups, veterans organizations, even other senators. Public support is overwhelmingly on your side. Public support doesn't pay legal bills. Maya rubbed her temples. FBI suspended me pending investigation. DEVGRU won't touch me with a 10-foot pole. I'm radioactive. You're a hero. There's a difference. Heroes don't get death threats. Maya showed Sarah her phone. 17 messages from blocked numbers, all variations on the same theme. Retribution was coming. Sarah's face darkened. We need to get you protection. From who? The FBI suspended me. I don't qualify for witness protection, and I'm not going to hide in a safe house while Davidson's network regroups. Maya pocketed her phone. I've got a better idea. I'm afraid to ask. I'm going public. All of it. My story, the trafficking operation. Everything. Maya's smile was sharp. They want to threaten me? I'll make myself too visible to touch. Kill me and they create a martyr. The investigation intensifies. More people get exposed. That's insane. You'll be painting an even bigger target on your back. The target's already there. Might as well use it. Maya started walking toward the exit. I've got interviews scheduled with CNN, 60 Minutes, and The Post. By this time tomorrow, every detail of Davidson's operation will be public knowledge. Maya, wait. Sarah caught her arm. There's something you need to know. The voice on the phone, the one who threatened you after Houston? We identified him. Maya stopped. Who? Viktor Volkov, Russian national. Interpol has him linked to trafficking operations in 14 countries. He's not just Davidson's supplier. He's the head of the entire Eastern European network. Sarah's voice dropped. Maya, this man has killed federal agents before, made them disappear. If he's targeting you, then I better make sure I'm too famous to disappear. Maya pulled free. I'm doing this, Sarah, with or without FBI backing. Then you'll have it. Unofficially. Sarah handed her a card. That's a former SEAL buddy of yours. Works private security now. He owes you a favor from Mosul. Said he'd provide protection, no questions asked. Maya looked at the card. Jackson Hawk Hawthorne. She hadn't seen Hawk in 3 years, not since they'd pulled a Marine unit out of an ambush outside Ramadi. Hawk's in Austin? As of yesterday. He saw the news, reached out. Said, and I quote, "That crazy bitch saved my life. Least I can do is return the favor." Maya smiled, despite everything. Sounds like Hawk. 24 hours later, Maya sat across from Anderson Cooper in a CNN studio, telling her story to 20 million viewers. She didn't hold back, described the coffee shop confrontation, the warehouse raids, the moment she shot Dmitri to save Sofia Rodriguez. Cooper leaned forward. You're aware the Justice Department is considering charges against you? Unauthorized use of force? Violation of evidence protocols? What's your response? My response is that the Justice Department should be investigating the people who enabled this trafficking network, not the woman who stopped it. Maya met the camera directly. Richard Davidson trafficked women for 4 years, made millions, involved powerful people who thought they were untouchable, and the system protected them. Until ordinary people, college kids, a DEA agent, a wounded veteran, decided enough was enough. Some critics say you're a vigilante, that you took the law into your own hands. The law failed those 9 women. The law failed Mei Zhang, who disappeared and was found in a shipping container bound for Yemen. The law failed hundreds of other victims we haven't found yet. Maya's voice hardened. So yes, I took action. And I'd do it again. The interview went viral within minutes. Social media exploded. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag I stand with Maya. Hashtag not one more. Hashtag make them pay. Support flooded in from unexpected places. Veterans groups, women's organizations, even some law enforcement unions fed up with political interference in criminal investigations. But the threats intensified too. Maya's hotel room phone rang at 2 a.m. She answered, already knowing what she'd hear. You think you're safe because you're famous? Viktor Volkov's voice was ice. Fame didn't save journalists in Moscow. Didn't save judges in Mexico. Won't save you. Then come for me yourself. Stop hiding behind phone calls and threats. Maya's hand moved to the Glock on her nightstand. Or are you scared that a wounded veteran with PTSD might be more than you bargained for? Volkov laughed. Brave words. Let's see if you feel brave when people around you start dying. Your FBI handler, your friends from the coffee shop, even those girls you saved. All targets now. Because of you. The line went dead. Maya sat in the darkness, her heart pounding. Volkov wasn't bluffing. He'd escalate, move from threats to action, and he'd go after innocent people to punish her. She had to end this, now. Maya called Hawk. I need a favor, the kind that can't show up in any report. What kind of favor? The kind that starts with you helping me disappear for 72 hours and ends with Viktor Volkov in federal custody. Hawk was quiet for 3 seconds. You planning something stupid? Monumentally stupid. You in? Where and when? Austin, tomorrow. And Hawk? Bring everything. The next day, Maya held another press conference, announced she was taking a break from public appearances, going to ground to protect her safety and that of the people around her. The media bought it. Viktor Volkov did too. Maya didn't go to ground. She went hunting. Using Davidson's confiscated files and Rodriguez's DEA intelligence, Maya pieced together Volkov's network. He operated through a legitimate import-export business in Miami, used shipping containers to move women, just like Davidson had in Texas. But Volkov had one weakness: arrogance. He believed himself untouchable, protected by international borders, corrupt officials, and layers of deniability. He didn't know Maya had already contacted Interpol, the FBI's international division, and 6 other federal agencies. They were all waiting for one thing: proof that Volkov was operating on U.S. soil. Maya intended to provide that proof. Hawk met her in Miami with 4 other former SEALs, all of them willing to work off-book for a woman who'd saved their lives in combat. They set up surveillance on Volkov's warehouse, documented every shipment, every person coming and going. On the 3rd night, they hit gold. Volkov himself appeared, stepping out of a black Mercedes flanked by bodyguards. He was meeting someone, a city official, based on the briefcase full of cash that changed hands. Maya filmed everything from 300 yards away, high-powered camera capturing faces, license plates, money transfers. Got it, she whispered into her comms. That's bribery of a public official on U.S. soil. Federal jurisdiction. We can move. Move how? Hawk's voice crackled in her ear. We call FBI. He's gone before they arrive. We move ourselves. We're committing assault. We're not moving. We're forcing his hand. Maya switched frequencies, called Sarah on a burner phone.
I've got Volkov on U.S. soil, accepting bribes, likely with hostages in the building. How fast can you get federal response? If it's verified intel, 20 minutes, maybe 15. Make it 10. I'm sending you the video now.
And Sarah? I'm going to spook him, make him run. You need to have agents at every exit within 5 minutes or he disappears forever. Maya, don't. Maya ended the call, sent the video file, and turned to Hawk. Light it up. Hawk grinned, pulled out a device that looked like a modified smartphone. You sure about this? Positive. He pressed a button. Every light in Volkov's warehouse went out simultaneously. Emergency alarms blared. The fire suppression system activated, dumping water and foam across the loading dock. Chaos erupted. Volkov's men poured out of the building, weapons drawn, searching for threats. Volkov emerged 30 seconds later, his phone to his ear, shouting in Russian. Maya zoomed her camera in on his face, captured every detail, every expression of rage and fear. Run, Victor. Run straight into federal custody. He did. Volkov and his bodyguards jumped into the Mercedes, tires squealing as they fled the scene. They made it 4 blocks before FBI vehicles boxed them in, agents emerging with weapons drawn. Maya watched through her camera as Volkov was dragged from his car, hands cuffed, face pressed against the hood. The arrogant trafficker who'd threatened to kill everyone she loved was now just another criminal in federal custody. Her phone rang. Sarah, are you insane? Do you have any idea how many regulations you just violated? About a dozen, maybe 2. Maya kept filming as FBI agents entered Volkov's warehouse. But I'm betting you find at least 6 women inside that building. Women who are alive because I violated those regulations. Sarah was quiet for a moment. We found 8, ages ranging from 17 to 23, all drugged, all bound for overseas shipment tomorrow. Maya's throat tightened. 8? Jesus. Yeah. 8 more who get to go home. Because you couldn't follow orders and stay out of it. Sarah's voice softened. Good work, Chen. Reckless, illegal, but good. What happens now? Now, Volkov gets charged with trafficking, bribery, conspiracy, and about 40 other felonies. With your video and the hostages we recovered, he's looking at life without parole. His entire network is exposed. We've already started rolling up his associates in 6 states. And me? You're officially still suspended. Unofficially, you just became the most effective trafficking investigator in federal history. Justice Department's trying to figure out whether to prosecute you or hire you. Maya smiled. Tell them I'm not interested in either. I've got other plans. 6 months later, Maya stood in the same Austin coffee shop where everything began. The Copper Star had new ownership now. A collective run by trafficking survivors, funded by Davidson's seized assets. Sophie, the barista who'd been assaulted by Brett, managed the place. She'd gone back to school, started a non-profit that taught self-defense to at-risk women. Coffee? Sophie smiled as Maya approached. Double espresso, and one of those croissants. Coming up. Sophie prepared the drink with practiced ease. Big day today, right? The opening? Yeah. Nervous, honestly. Don't be. What you're doing is incredible. Maya paid, took her coffee to a corner booth. Through the window, she could see the building across the street. New sign above the door. Hidden in plain sight. Training center. Her nonprofit. Her purpose. Teaching self-defense to survivors. Training them not just to fight, but to recognize predators, escape dangerous situations, reclaim their power. Yuki Tanaka was her first instructor. The 19-year-old had transformed her trauma into fuel, earning her black belt in 6 months, dedicating herself to helping other women find the same strength. Sofia Rodriguez was enrolled as a student, determined to honor her Aunt Maria's memory. Maria had died 3 months ago, cancer, not violence, but had lived long enough to see Volkov convicted and her niece graduate from Baylor. Brett Davidson showed up occasionally, volunteering, doing grunt work, trying to atone.
Maya didn't forgive him, but she let him try.
Redemption was earned through action, not words. Her phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. Senate hearing results are in. No charges. Full reinstatement to FBI if you want it. Formal apology from Justice Department. You won. Maya stared at the message. Won. After everything, the threats, the investigations, the public scrutiny, she'd won. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt like surviving. She typed back, "Tell them thanks, but no thanks."
I've got better work to do.
Sarah's response came immediately. Figured you'd say that. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. Thanks, boss. For everything. Maya pocketed her phone, finished her coffee, and walked across the street to the training center. Inside, 20 women waited, survivors of trafficking, domestic violence, assault. Women who'd been told they were weak, helpless, broken. Women who were about to learn otherwise. "Good morning," Maya said, her voice carrying through the space. "My name is Maya Chen, former Navy SEAL, trafficking survivor, and I'm here to teach you something important. You are not victims. You are survivors, and survivors have power." She moved to the center of the mat. "I'm not going to lie to you. The world is dangerous. There are people out there who see women as targets, as commodities, and the system that's supposed to protect us often fails." A hand went up. A young woman, maybe 20, with bruises still visible on her arms. "So what do we do? Just accept it?" "Hell no." Maya's smile was fierce. "We fight back. We learn to recognize threats. We train until our bodies remember what to do even when our minds freeze. We support each other, and we refuse to be anyone's victim ever again." She looked around the room, meeting each woman's eyes. "I can't promise you'll never be scared again. I still get scared. Can't promise you'll never freeze up. I still have nightmares. But I can promise you this. By the time you finish this program, anyone who tries to hurt you is going to regret it. Sound good?" Nods, murmurs of agreement, determination replacing fear in their expressions. "Then let's begin. Partner up. We're starting with basic situational awareness and threat recognition." For the next 2 hours, Maya taught, demonstrated, corrected form, shared stories of her own experiences, the good, the bad, the terrifying. She didn't sugarcoat the reality of violence, but she also didn't let it define them. When the class ended, the young woman with the bruises approached. "Thank you. For this. For everything." "You don't need to thank me. Just show up, do the work, and help the next woman who walks through that door. That's all I ask." "I will. I promise." She hesitated. "Can I ask you something? How did you do it? How did you go from being a victim to being you?" Maya thought about that, about the cages in Yemen. The darkness that had consumed her after Abbottabad. The moment she'd decided survival wasn't enough. She had to live. "I got angry. Then I got trained. Then I used both to protect people who couldn't protect themselves." She put her hand on the woman's shoulder. "You'll find your own path. Just don't let anyone tell you you're too damaged or too weak to walk it." Tears welled in the woman's eyes. "Nobody's ever told me I could be strong before." "Then they were wrong. Dead wrong." Maya squeezed her shoulder. "Now go home. Rest. Come back tomorrow ready to work." As the women filed out, Yuki approached.
Next week we've got 30 new applications. Word's spreading fast. Good. We'll need more instructors. Think you can handle teaching the beginner class? Yuki's face lit up. Really? You trust me with that? You survived what most people can't imagine. Turned that trauma into strength. Of course I trust you.
Maya checked her schedule.
We'll also need funding. The Davidson money won't last forever.
I've got some ideas about that. Fundraisers, grants. Maybe approach some of those corporations that are suddenly very interested in looking like they support trafficking victims.
Do it. Just make sure the money comes with no strings. I won't let donors dictate how we run this place.
Understood. Maya's phone buzzed again. This time an email from the Washington Post. Subject: follow-up interview? She read the message. They wanted to do a story on the training center, show the after, not just the during, give the survivors a platform to share their own stories. Maya forwarded it to Yuki.
Your call. It's your story too.
Yuki read it, then looked up.
Only if the focus is on all of us, not just you, not just me. Everyone who fought back. Deal.
That evening, Maya sat alone in her apartment, looking at the wall she'd covered with photos. The 9 women she'd saved. The 8 from Miami. Dozens of others who'd come through the training center, reclaimed their lives, moved forward. Faces of survival, of resilience, of refusing to let trauma have the last word. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up.
Maya Chen?
Ms. Chen, my name is Jennifer Walsh. I'm with Homeland Security Investigations. We've been tracking an adoption fraud ring operating out of Guatemala. It's actually a trafficking operation. They're selling children to buyers in the US and Europe. Walsh paused. We've hit a wall. These people are sophisticated, connected. We need someone who understands how these networks operate. Someone who's not afraid to bend rules when lives are at stake. Maya should have said no. Should have told Walsh to find someone else, someone without her baggage and her history of going rogue. Instead, she asked, "How many children?" "We think at least 40 have been trafficked in the past 2 years. We've located 12. The rest are gone." Maya thought about those 12 children. Scared, alone, waiting for someone to fight for them.
When do you need me?
Tomorrow. We're flying to Guatemala City. Operation launches in 72 hours.
I'll be there.
Maya hung up, looked at the photos on her wall, added one more in her mind. 12 children who didn't know it yet, but they were about to come home. She'd survived Yemen, survived Abbottabad, survived Davidson and Volkov and a system that tried to silence her. And she'd keep surviving, keep fighting, keep refusing to let evil win. Because that's what survivors did. They got back up, they adapted, they fought, and they saved others from the darkness they'd escaped. Maya Chen packed her go bag, checked her weapons, and prepared for the next mission. The war against traffickers wasn't over. It would never be over. But as long as Maya was breathing, they'd never stop losing ground. She'd made that promise in a warehouse in Austin, surrounded by cages and broken women. And Maya Chen always kept her promises.